growing other people. Leadership is not about manipulation. It's about inspiration. True leaders don't manipulate people. They inspire people. They cause people to believe in themselves. They cause people to believe.
Good evening, good people. Happy Sunday, happy Holy Sunday. Welcome back, Bafetu. It's a Revelation Time show with your boy, brother Ngewu. This is a Christian show. It's where we preach and teach the word of God. It's all about Jesus Christ and Him alone, Him crucified. Welcome, Bafetu, to our last episode, our last session of leadership conference. Bafetu, it's been a wonderful, it's been a great, it's been an epic month, Bafetu, a month of leadership. The whole month of February was a month of leadership. We believe what we have created, we have made, we have inspired more leaders out there. We are very also happy and appreciative to everyone who've been attending, because we've seen in number has been big. So it shows how people are interested into leadership. So siyabonga kakhulu Bafethu to everyone who've been there kule conference from day one, and today is our last day since this was the opening, kodwa kwaphenduka kwabe closing because of network. But at the end of the day, the last day sagcina swinile because we are victorious, we are the winner. Bafethu ukuthi namhlanje ngiphe one of Bafethu le youth it's which generation that uNkulunkulu ayibusise kakhulu Bafethu, ebusise kakhulu abantu abasha. So we are having my brother Mfoka Mboma laphana, Mboma kamqhele madoda, Super Sikhakhane, doda yako Human Kings. Kuzoba mnandi kakhulu Bafethu. Sakuke le ndaba ye leadership, as you can see on the screens ukuthi is written ukuthi namhlanje we are going to be learning about the origins and the purpose of leadership. Angifuni ukuya kakhulu because mina ngomncinyane, but khona kumfowethu okuyena uzothatha sibeke to the origins and the purpose of leadership. I love how our guests kule conference, they are tackling in the leadership. Not even one who are talking or speaking or teaching about inter. They all come with different angles. So indeed, we are going to be great leaders. Without waste of any time, my brother, please do Mfowethu, angeke ngisho ukuthi introduce yourself, usekoweza kule show uyaziwa, so just greet us and then usitshele ukuthi namhlanje usiphatheleni and then ayikhale.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ngewu. And thank you to everyone who's been watching and attending a leadership conference month. I'm also appreciative of the fact that Gizokuluma, on top of great information that was shared previously by other speakers, I also learned a lot, and ngiyabonga kakhulu. Also, my deepest apologies. Ngiyazi ukuthi kwakufanele ngiqale network yangenza one. I think it's because it's a South Africa. But today mainly and everyone into sokhuluma ngayo is the origins and purpose of leadership. From what the other speakers have covered, is very important. Talking about vision, understanding what leadership is and the spheres where leadership should be applied, and the strategies on how to lead. They also touched on the origins of leadership, but I have a very slightly different approach to it. This is not to insult people, but it's for us to have a reflection on ourselves. Some people already have discovered themselves and discovered what leadership is, but that is not the greatest achievement, because it starts by discovering yourself, and then when you go out there to apply your leadership skills or your leadership knowledge, then it means you need to also understand other people very well, and that enables you to lead properly. Because if it so happens that you understand yourself and you are leading a people that do not understand what leadership is and not understanding themselves subsequently, that means you're going to stumble a lot. You're going to have to train and retrain people a lot, spend a lot of money, spend a lot of resources, mixing with the wrong people, hiring in your company or in someone's company people that will not be able to add the expected outcome. Reason because they do not understand the origins and the purpose of leadership. So I have some few notes here that I made for all of us to be able to learn from. But what I would like to do is to commence on looking at the Word of God. I remember Ulifo spoke a lot regarding where leadership is sourced from, looking at our history, how the leadership philosophy of the day was taken from the past. And you also talk about the Word of God. So I want to start there, looking at the basic origins. Where does it come from? And also cover why people fear to lead, why people fear the role of leadership. To be quite frankly with you, I think you can tell there is no well-known leadership summit that people attend. There has never been a stadium of the gathering of leaders. It just doesn't happen. And even if you can pay people to go there or pay on their behalf, they don't feel that I am supposed to be there. It's a fact. It's what we are learning. We have so many people that are very good in their conduct, so-called righteous people that will not take on leadership roles. There's a lot of people even at work who are suffering from bad leaders. People are depressed. But we're going to talk about that a bit. People are depressed through the oppression of their managers. Why? It's because it's people who do not understand leadership. And the people that are supposed to be assuming those roles are very relaxed and they're actually shy and running away from that. So we have a people that are praying for a better life, whereas they do not carry the responsibility of living out the better life. They keep on hiding it in themselves. And that's a very a tragic event that can happen. But maybe let's go to the Word of God, Genesis 1. I'm going to cover verse 26 and verse 26 alone. This is a very well-known verse. Everybody knows it. I just have to read it. It reads so. Then God said, let us make man in our image, after our own likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. So basically from here, now we are learning the scope of leadership. The reason why I'm saying, before I get into each of this term, I want to start by how it ends so that we get the perspective and retrospect. So look at it like this. It says, and have dominion over all the earth. So that means each jurisdiction here to our territory is the entire earth. So when mankind was made, when a human being was made, they were given the authority to lead the entire earth. So the earth is everybody's responsibility and it is our project. So when it comes to leadership, we are not limited. We have to run the entire earth. So if someone does not know that, I repeat again, it is our responsibility as human beings to make sure that the earth is run very well, and it is run by us. So I'm going to be tackling a bit of things that we miss out. And unfortunately, religion is very dangerous because people are spending a lot of time praying for the things that they're out to become. And they're asking that to come from an external source. We pray a lot, not manifesting ourselves out, but we praying for an external source or external someone that we do not know, that comes from somewhere to be able to fulfill this role. And this is our own responsibility. Okay, maybe let me tackle this first one. The word dominion. Dominion is a term that people have grown fond of. They like it very much, and I am fully disappointed, completely disappointed, especially at church. They like this term and they don't even have time to apply it. They pray about it. It quite saddens me a lot. They preach a lot about it, they entertain themselves with it, but they do not go to the depth of applying it. So I want us to just dissect it, look at it, what it covers, not the emotion that people have to give each other hope. Unfortunately, leadership is not just for hope, it's for making things a reality, making sure that change is implemented, not playing around with big terms. So it comes from a quick word it calls rada, and means to dominate, to have dominion, to lead, to rule over, to subdue. It means to be able to supervise, to be able to direct. It means to be able to govern, to manage, to have control. I think everybody will understand when you dominate, it means you have complete sovereignty, you have full control in there. And I think uzongfakazela, people are losing control a lot in this life. They're losing control a lot. And everybody who's depressed is because somehow they are not functioning well in terms of being able to be in control. And being in control is what they were designed for. It's what mankind has been designed for. And if you are not in control, obviously you're going to malfunction between yourself, because something is talking to you and you do not understand, why am I not in control? And the mind, because mind was also designed in the beginning when mankind was created to be able to function in this particular order. And then the mind starts to malfunction, and it is looking for solutions, and that's what you call depression. It is looking for solutions, but it is not finding. Why? Because we do not understand ourselves, who we are, and how we're supposed to become who we are. So and we look at the word, when the creator says let us create man in our own image, and we want them to have our likeness. What does that mean? It means we have the resemblance of the one who created us, to rule or reign over the earth. Sometimes people like to spiritualize this thing. This is really not too spiritual. It's definitely not. And that's where we get it wrong, because people want to throw quotes, verses all around, so that they have this internal satisfaction and emotional stability, if I may call it like that, so that they feel good, like they are really operating in this thing. And most of the time, we are not doing so. So when we talk about image, it's a resemblance, a representative, or characteristics of the one who created us. And I want us to look at this creation story, because obviously scientists have did a very poor job sometimes at trying to describe evolution. I call scientists, or this is how I describe scientists. A scientist is someone who goes after God's creation and study the principles behind God's creation and try to make a conclusion out of it. And they make a lot of money after doing that. Sometimes they do great mistakes like human evolution. And if you go with the theory of human evolution, you're going to lose yourself, because nobody was created as a Homo sapien or a monkey or a chimpanzee, whatever that thing is called. So this is how we were created. And if we can give ourselves time to even think about this, I know people have maybe a deeper understanding of God, but I don't want us to have a deeper understanding of God. Let us look at God in this perspective. Who is this creator? This is the creator of the heavens and the earth. I don't want to talk about heavens. I don't know much about heavens. Can I talk about the earth? Because that's what I can understand more. So when you look at the earth, this is the God who created the earth. How was earth? The earth, we are told that it was formless, it was void, and it was dark. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the deep, or the water. So, and then what God did, He brought the lights on on the earth, and then He was able to be able, then the ability to see on the earth, which was void and formless. So it means it was without shape. And then this God, or this Creator, started working on the earth. He divided the waters that were over the earth. Some of the water went up the sky, and some of them were below the earth, or on the earth rather. So what He did, and then He gathers the water, and then He calls them the seas, and the earth that was remaining, the dry ground, He called that the land. And in the land, He continued to do His work. What did He do? He called forth plants that have seed in them, that are able to reproduce themselves, and also with fruit, and that came into being. After that, what did He do? He brought animals on this earth. This is very important. And there's nothing too spiritual or deep about this. This is the God, or the creator, that we're talking about. So He then continued His work day after day. And on the waters, He brought fish in there, and then gave them the ability to swim through the fish, and He blessed them. The word blessed, it means to multiply, to be able to reproduce. That's a very technical term that leaders are always looking for. Everybody in a company, they want to reproduce, make sure that they multiply whatever they do. It's either a service or a goods that they create or provide to their customer. So it was given to that. And then He goes on to the sky, He puts the sun there, the moon, and the stars, and then He gives them authority. You day, you're going to control the day, speaking to the sun. You moon, you're going to be controlling in the evening, and then you're going to be able to tell seasons with these particular devices, or this particular creation, and they have their functions on this earth. And then He creates a man on top of that. Say, you are the person that's going to be responsible for this entire project. So when we talk about leadership, is a person making sure that they are aligning themselves into making sure that the earth is being taken care of. How is that so simple, and yet we missed it? And most of the time, we don't really understand. And we have a lot of people, especially Abazala, they're praying a lot for God to intervene. Okay, maybe before I get there, no, I think you have come across this term where people are asking, who created the skole? Like, why is that getting paid? And it blows my mind to even think, how is that question being asked? You are newly born. You were born in 1990, and the earth has been operating for maybe 1,000,000 years, if not million years, maybe more than like 10,000 years. So how are you going to be able to understand the history, what has happened, and how do you fit in the series of events that has taken place before you were even born? So it is a must for us to learn, go back to history, understand what has taken place and who we are and what are we supposed to do when we have arrived here. Okay, so I have some few philosophical statements when it comes to leadership for us to be able to understand, because there's a lot that we can cover on that. Livestock is our responsibility. So the issues of unemployment is a result of the lack of leadership, because people that are supposed to be operating in livestock, especially people of color, black people, African people, we're good, we're a specialist when it comes to livestock. Ukufuya, we have shied away from that, and I really believe it was because we did not understand our identity when the so-called civilization came about, the way that was prescribed for us to work and living. We forgot who we are, and then we have put ourselves in this position that we're in. My philosophical statement, I have about 10 of them. Philosophical leadership statements. The first one is leadership is in the DNA of mankind. When mankind or human beings were created, the primary objective for them to be even created was for them to be able to run the earth, to be able to govern. So it's in our DNA. Besides leadership, we cannot do nothing. We were born leaders. It is our nature. It is within us. We come with it. We have inherited this thing. Every human being is a leader. Leadership is the reason for mankind to exist. Mankind came here, or we were created for leadership. Leadership is the mandate for all mankind. This is what we came for. This is the instruction that we're supposed to follow. Leadership is the only hope for mankind. There is no solution without leadership. If we do not decide to lead, make things happen, to change circumstances, there is no hope for a better life. It comes from there. We are solely responsible. So leadership is the only hope for mankind, and leadership is the protection or preservation of mankind. This is a very crucial one. Leadership is the responsibility that we carry, and while we carry it, it is there to even protect us. The laws that we make, the laws that governs our nation, the laws that are governing our corporate spaces, governing our land, governing our labor, all those laws are there to protect us. If they are not being produced by good leaders, that means we cannot be preserved. Our courts, our justice system, if leadership is the protection and preservation of mankind. Next point, leadership is the value in each human being. The value that we carry lies within our leadership. We carry this thing. This is very critical, and people tend to get too emotional about it, and it quite saddens me, because you find a person who saying, because I'm poor, people are ill-treating me. I go to church and I'm being isolated. I go to school. I'm being isolated. My friends, I don't have friends who really care about me. Even my family. If you do not manifest your leadership, you will always be excluded in society, because society do not want to carry the burdens of people. They want people that are going to lead them out of their situations. And that's a sad reality of it. And look at it like this: we have limited time to be even here. So if I mingle around a person that doesn't care about their life, also I'm going to be trying to associate myself with people that care about this life and have something that can lead me somewhere. It's not using people. People are here for that. We're supposed to use people, in fact. That's what people are supposed to be here for. They're supposed to be used, to be utilized, to serve, to give themselves away, give something to mankind. So it is the value or the value that we possess. And it is in each and every one of us. If you don't use it, then you become a problem to the society. People shut you away because you have not unlocked your value. You have decided that you have kept yourself. You want people to come and give to you rather not you being given to them. Okay, leadership finds its full expression in gifts. A very critical one. Your leadership will find its full expression in your gift. What is a gift? A gift is something that I really like, I really appreciate. A gift is an inherent ability. My description or my explanation of this word will be a bit unique. It's an inherent ability to achieve a purpose or a function. So our leadership is unique. It is not the same. So some people have been allocated to the earth to have international leadership capacity, to be able to govern, to rule, to lead, to direct, to plan, organize, manage, all of that in a leadership capacity that is international. Some of us are given different abilities. Some of us use our bodies for unique things, like soccer players. We have this people playing rugby. You have people that are artistic. So your leadership is there. I said the statement says leadership is the full expression. Find its full expression in your gift, and that is where people. That is very basic, but that is where we should try to find our leadership capacity, because that is where it's hidden. Leadership is self-discovery. As explained prior, it is what you have been given. You don't go somewhere to find your leadership. It is within you. And this is one of the greatest things that God has bestowed upon mankind, that you do not go, you don't travel anywhere that you cannot afford. Your leadership lies within you. It is within you. It is within your abilities. We're going to explain why people are not using their abilities. And it's quite a lot of people that are not using their abilities, and it is causing problems. I said leadership is the only hope for humankind. You know, a person that has not discovered their leadership are a problem even to their families. Even if they can bump into money somehow, be able to make money, but because they have not discovered themselves, they do a lot of things that are havoc and destructive, because they have not desire to see their full expression on the earth, fully accomplishing what they're here for, getting the prestige, getting the honor of the true expression of your leadership that you came for here. Look at Nelson Mandela, the glory that man attained. I know church people do not they understand the word glory in their own terms. So glory means the origin of the thing, the origin, the full expression of the thing, the glory of Steve Biko. How Steve Biko, yo man, yo, what a man. And I was fascinated to learn that these leaders died in their 30s, excluding Nelson Mandela, Solomon Mahlangu, the people, a man with a massive statement that says, my blood shall bear the fruits of freedom. And umfana omncane wala eGoli, and he's telling all people that my blood will bear the fruits of freedom. Ekhuluma South Africa that we're living in, a South Africa that we can travel, go to banks without being segregated. All of that was the man discovering myself that my life means nothing. I need to give it away for people. You see, a man who chose not to do drugs, you can die through drugs, but he lived a life that gave him his full expression. He could have been a thug. He could have done a lot of things, but he gave his life for the people of South Africa to say that I will die and people shall know that there was Solomon Mahlang in this generation and his name lives on even today. So leadership comes through birth and development. You're born with it, but you must become a leader. Leadership is the advancement of mankind. If you want people to advance, you need to have leaders to be able to advance. Leadership is for empowerment. The word rule is the being given power. So this is very imperative. So even at work, even at home, even wherever a person might be utilizing their leadership, we don't make people or subject people be our slaves, or even this word subordinate. What we do is we give people the ability to be able to rule. Because this is what then we even give them pay. We pay them do this. So if you want to, as a leader, you want people to be under you and you subject them to your own ideologies, your own emotion, that is very bad. So leadership is supposed to empower. You allow use their natural abilities to be able to run whichever project they have to be involved in. Leadership then becomes what mankind seeks after, because it is the value that we possess. So it is what we are looking for that will come into our lives and be able to be because mankind, remember, mankind, it is not good for mankind to be alone. So we don't want to live alone. It is not our nature as a species. We're supposed to fill the earth and be cooperative, be a company, be a firm. We have to organize ourselves into a certain structure. We call it an organization or a company or a firm, whatever you may call it. We need to comprise ourselves as such so that we can be able to be what we are looking for. If we're looking for jobs, we create the jobs, because jobs come from managing the water, even the government. That is what it is for. And oh, good Jesus. So that is what we're supposed to be doing. Leadership always brings solution. So leadership is the gift to mankind to be able to come up with solution. Leadership is always concerned about their domain. This is very important, very serious. If you're dominating a certain space or ruling a certain space, ruling a certain project, governing, leading it, directing, organizing, and planning it, so you're always concerned about it because you want to give the best result. That is what you're looking for. So what I want to cover is, we have spoken a lot. Mr. Human kings, it's what we normally try and look microscopically to it. Why people fear leadership? Because as we have said, it is the only hope, our only hope. Leadership is our value. Leadership is us fully expressing ourselves, us not living in being subject of someone else. It's us taking the true control. What has happened to us? That is the question. Where did we lose it? Why have we become so weak as a people? Why we have people that are not being able to go out there. If you look at it like this, I'm going to go through the identities that we have lost that causes us not to achieve our leadership. We have a lot of people that are considered unemployed. I'm not saying this out of pride. I understand the dire situation that is out there. It's a serious issue. But you find people that are living in a different world. Maybe for us to understand. You have, as we call them, athletics. Those people are not given permanent contracts. They don't do that. You got 3 year, even a 1 year contract, and you have to rely on your ability and you serve your ability. Yet we are so comfortable. Even this term employment is just a government term, a statistical term, to be quite frank and technical about it. It's a statistical term, a technical term, which means these are so many people that we have in our area or in our country that are paying taxes. They call it income tax. So if you're not there and you are making a lot of things, you're producing a lot of product, but you are not, you do not have a tax number, they don't consider that as employment, but you're living a lavish life. You have people saying there's no degree, they have no degree in their cars, trying to prove to us that you don't have to be employed sometimes to fully express yourself. So we have different abilities, and we want to go to now where. So if you're a person that has been demonstrated the luxury of being so-called employed, then you tend to be fearful if you are not employed, because you do not know what any other solution or any other avenue that you can explore, because employment is the golden egg that you have been promised, that without employment you are nothing. So in this case, I want us to look at this. The lack of understanding of leadership is the root cause why people fear the role to lead. There's a lack of understanding in identity. I want to start at a very top level: national identity. Now, the education system that we have in the country is very unique, and it's very dangerous. For example, you are an artisan. How come an artisan is involved in technical space like this, like what you're doing? You see, you are a teacher yourself. You are an artisan. You are multi-gifted. You operate in different dimensions. And when people are subject to the education system of the country, their national identity, who they present to be, you have people that are CAs. Being CA is not a bad thing, but they only can function in that. So you have people that are psychologists, they only go in this direction. You have people that engineers, they only go into this direction. Where does that give us a problem? You have engineers that cannot be able to have a say in the entire government of the country. So that means all these people that I've just mentioned, excluding politicians and whosoever, they are the majority that do not get to have a say, because what do? They wake up in the morning, they go to work, they come back tired, they go back in the workplace in the morning, and it's a vicious cycle that gives them money. It is being an engineer, being a doctor, it pays, but how much are they involved in them expressing their national identity? When do they make sure that they get involved in making the rules? You have people that do not even know our history as South Africans. We don't care. I look after my family. no pride. We have no pride as South African. We have no pride as Africans, even to begin with. You see, so when you have such a people, and then you are brought into a space where the entire system of the country is going to be compromised, you have people, so-called professionals, that cannot even sustain their national identity. They can't even voice out their opinions. Those people are making babies. They do not contribute into their national identity. What does then happen? We also lose our societal or tribal identity. We lose ourselves as Zulu people. We lose ourselves as Xhosa people. We lose our identity as Swati, Shangan, Soto, whatever tribe come from. We lose our history. We lose our cultures. So you have a people like Amapuas. Puas is not a political term. It's an African term that means farmers. Amapun, Abalim. And we even have tribal names are exclusive in our identity, understanding where do we fit in our genealogies, what gifts, family gifts that we have. Other people are singers. In this family, there's a bloodline of singers. They don't need degrees. They don't need employment. They only sign contract. They only go for gigs. This is how they travel the world through their gift, through their leadership. They understand this is our gift. Poetry, this is who we are. When it comes to artistic design, this is who we are. This is who we are as a society. This is who we are as a tribe. This is who we are as a people. And we're proud of this. When it comes to dancing, we can dance you. We can dance, baby. That's what we do. So, zonke lezi zinto, we have lost all these things that make us unique. And we're looking for employment. So tourism has serious lack now. Why? People bahambile with a degree. Bama artisans, man. They were told being an electrical engineer gives you a lot of money, so therefore I need to go there. So nationally, when this education system bringing up, obviously this historically it is designed for industrialization. You can industrialize some gift. You don't have, like, you cannot massively industrialize Abatuli and you say, I'm going to be the king over them. I'm going to prepare them to be able to sing for me. That is what has been done in our education system. You create employees, you give them a certain skill. In the certain skill, you want them to graduate. And if they don't have the papers, you call them qualifications or certificates or degrees. If they don't have them, they don't have that. So they have not met the bar. They could be employed. You have that has been predestined for us. Sorry, it's been given. So especially for us who went to public education system. So private school have a different narrative. I don't want to talk about that. But those are the people at school, they do sports. They discover. It's like a schooling, they're there to discover themselves, not only Palama test. Who are we writing this test to? What are we trying to prove? We're proving to whoever, we're proving a point there out there that we're capable. I can do science. You can employ me. Please. I'm going to do research. I'm going to do my homework for you to be able to come through for me. When was the last time we heard about serious innovations from the science field? IT is coming along very hard. And they're just disrupting the industry. They're making our education system obsolete because they've got in touch with their leadership capacity. They are serving us big time. And you can imagine, when you study the education system, they take 25 years now to change what they've documented. In 25 years, but in 25 years, how many inventions, IT inventions. You get all these digital things. You've got these softwares, and they don't report these softwares. They don't go to and report to every institution out there. No, we have come up with this device. Please change your education system so that people are relevant and they're employable. People get outdated even in their education system because they are not concerned with where they dominate. And people, Namanja, even when companies are complaining, we send these people for trainings, they don't want to develop themselves. Why they don't want to develop? They do not dominate there. They just got thrown in there. They just go thrown in the education system, yet they do not know themselves. And then we have family identity. Very important. You find people that were parented by people that have a mindset that is contaminated. Contaminated how, no? Contaminated in the sense that you have people that were born under the apartheid regime or segregation. They trust the government so much, and this is what they tell their parents. This is what the government has promised us. Who's the government? The government is us. Oh, Babu Sipho laba, no John, no Banbani. These are the government. People are also trying to find themselves, and they promising us jobs. They do not know us. And our parents take that and implement it in the family structure to say, this is what you're going to study. Like this is what they aspire, because our view is so limited, because what government tells us we believe. We don't look at them as a people that have the capacity to fail. The people that are supposed to be leading, they have shortcomings, and then we believe that. And when they lead us astray, there's a saying that Jesus talked about it. When the blind lead the blind, they both go into a ditch. If the government is wrong, has poor leadership, even the nation itself will go into a dip. And if a tribe has a problem and the leadership there, they also throw that people away. In the family, you lose yourself if it is directing you in the direction that you do not desire. So those are the things that we seriously need to look into. Unfortunately, I'm out of time. I could have gone into gifts because gifts are very important, but these are the few things that have made us lose our identity as a people, and we need to make sure that we try by all means discover ourselves. I was doing a bit of research. It is said that finding yourself is one of the difficult things to achieve in our generation. And I was reading a book by Robert Kiyosaki, Before You Quit Your Job. Like the narrative that he talked about, rich dad, poor dad, this conversation that we normally, obviously, leaders are readers. We read a lot. So in that conversation, the other guy is asking rich dad, why people do not take the time or consider finding themselves. And rich dad answers and says, it is a very difficult exercise that people do not want to go through. And they rather follow whoever is leading them. And that is a very sad statement, like Jesus, what he said. Like, people are like sheep without a shepherd. A sheep is a very dangerous animal, a very lacking in intellect and wisdom. It follows whosoever is leading it. So this is what Jesus considered our generation to be. And we have a serious need of leaders. And if we do not engage ourselves in finding our identity, and in my few words, as I'm wrapping up, I would say even the problem that we're having in South Africa right now, people, even the youth, we need to go out there and vote. It's going to be critical. freedom is never it doesn't come free. As we're speaking now, you can see the alarming amount of crime in our streets, in our homes. Even like famous figures are being gunned down. Your courts will take about 5 years to even solve it. What is the hope for an average person under those circumstances? People are studying law. What are they studying law for? It is not their passion. They want to make money. It's not about human life. Wrong people are going to jail. The evil people are getting outside. The freedom that we got through the people that have died in South Africa. They sacrificed their blood. They sacrificed their life. They left their families. And if this generation is not quick enough to respond, we're going to have more people dying in this country. And to get it from the criminals, corrupt judges, corrupt government officials, corrupt policemen, we're going to have to die again to be able to reclaim that freedom. It is terrible. It is bad. Leadership is the only hope for humanity. It is what we require as people. Bleeding in my heart, we even lost a brother currently in gunned down. There's no justice. We're losing a lot. Why are we going to study then if we're not going to be saving each other? Why are we in this institution if we are not for humanity? So thank you very much, Neu. But people are leaders. This is what we were born for. This is our prerogative. It is our right. It is our identity. We need to go out there, live the only hope for ourselves. Thank you very much, Mr. Neu.
Maputsa, asibonga mfethu, asibonga. What a nice and a chilled session. Us here learning about leadership, the origin and the purpose of leadership. Let me just go through my comments before City go furthermore. Kune comment engingayibona la, I think it's from Nobile. We were born to lead, sizalwe nayo lento. And God gave us dominion. We don't understand the rights we were given. That's very, very true. No? Off topic, what is Human Kings about? Klape, my brother, 2 minutes. Can you please attend to this one and what is Human Kings all about? Just 2 minutes. Maybe if someone
I'm going to do one.
I'm going to do one. Yeah.
Human Kings is a home and a network for leadership, for leaders. What we do there, we train about leadership. We understand in two perspectives. You have the first group that have not yet discovered themselves, what they were born for, what is their leadership ability. And two, you have people that are already exercising their leadership abilities, but we want to train them. We train them to be able to exercise their leadership in the correct version. I've just explained how people have deviated from the right leadership that they're supposed to carry. So it's two people that have not discovered themselves, people that are already out there making an impact, but they have to do it the right way.
Oh wow, thank you very much. Nobile, I hope uyizwile ke leyo. uDolly saying umholi akaphumuli uhleze ekhathazekile ngempumelelo. Sasivele sidalelwe ukubusa phezu kwakho konke okusemhlabeni. And then again uNqobile emfundisa inkinga kulo dance the church ifike ekuvimbe. Somehow sekwenze kwayinto kaSathane, our own God given talent. Yo. And then so maybe we should next discuss finding yourself, your purpose, identity. It sounds clinch but crucial. I know there are books on it, but let's bring it home. Talk about it, assist each other. Yabaleka manje le comment, where is it? I'm sorry, guys. Oh, okay. I know there are books on it, but let's bring it home. Talk about it. Assist each other on it. I think we shall consider that one. Nonkanyiso very very soon. I second this. Okay. Angicabangi ukuthi ugovernment uyakhathala about izwe because bawogombela kwesabo. That's why ungeke uzithole izingane zabo kuma-government school. Yo. Nanso-ke le leadership ability. Ngizwile but too many kings. All right. Yo, guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope everyone has learned today about the origins and the purpose of leadership. Leadership, it's more when you talk about finding yourself, because leadership, it's not something that you gain or you obtain from school, but leadership, it's inherently, you are, if you know yourself that you are a leader, even if you don't know that you are a leader, but you are inherently a leader, meaning you were born a leader. Leadership is a gift that you were given by God. So you only see leadership through your behavior. That is why I always say leadership is attitude. The way you carry yourself, the way you talk, the way you move, the way you act. It's of how you a leader. So there's something you said, my brother. You said if you fail on manifesting your leadership in a society, and then what happens to a society if you fail to manifest. I don't know whether you said if you fail to manifest or if you fear to manifest your leadership into your society, what happens?
So definitely what happens now, because you have not contributed value in the society, you feel left out. And that is where you find people committing suicide, because now they want to use power, not authority, to be able to have their presence felt in the community. It becomes a very bad process. Sorry, I know we haven't done justice. We have to go to why we can't really bring it home now. No, we there.
I'm here, Baba.
Yes, okay. The reason why I can't really bring it home, I've been talking a lot around the issues of leadership, the issues of purpose and all of that. As she said, it has become a cliche. And where we have lost it, the way we're looking at it, we are so personal. And a leader is not a person who's solely concerned about themselves. Kuna terms of self-love, terms that have become very dangerous. So when you find yourself, it becomes a serious problem in the society. We have people that are called leaders. They don't watch the news. How could you call yourself a professional? You don't even understand what is happening in the day in your country. You have money, and we have to draw the entire national scope. That's why we draw the national scope into the person's environment, so that they understand. We need to bring crisis, the reality of what we're living in. People are living in Hollywood. Series. They see people, they've been gunned down. That's how we live in the surface of events. When a person, we don't even go and strike. So if we say we're gonna find ourselves in so banabantu abahamba ngama Range Rover, emva kwalokho sizokuthiwa bayijulwe ezinkabi people who have a voice, and then they are gone, just like that. Sibe ney'ntandane after that, because i-environment abaphila kuyona abakazi babe seriously concerned ngayo. Bafaka ama-burglar guards, bafaka ama-security, ADT, bayivikela bona, and then one day igebengu will come and kill them, and then it's done. Finish. Ingane zabo zibe zintandane. So if we don't find our identity as a nation first, we can't contribute effectively.
So, in terms of the purpose of leadership, you as a leader, do you have to perform in all the spheres of leadership where leaders are needed? Because I believe ukuthi there are lots. Okay, noma angibe ukuthi there are lots of department or different type of societies or groups akhona. So, as a leader, do you have to be a leader even where you don't found a passion, but knowing what maybe you can go and tackle your part, but you don't have a passion? But as a leader, do you have to perform in all the spheres as a leader?
Umbuzo wako needs time, but have limitations as a leader. The reason why umbuzo wako needs time, it's because I need people to think broadly first before we limit them, because limitation is there in leadership. You cannot perform beyond your gift. If, for example, if you have that limit, it means you need to hire someone to also add their gift in whatever you do. So there's different strategies in coming about it. But I would say one thing connected to our inspiration. Their leaders, for example, I was amazed at work during these days. They were using Rowan Williams. I was blown away. They were using Rowan Williams at work in a presentation by our manager, describing how he was able to save our goals and the strategies that he used. So that guy is getting into offices without him being there. You know what I'm saying? And we did Guibafana is going to the professional environment, and that's how we do. But you can't be involved in everything, but there's always a window. Positions in leadership. You got these things they based on boards. That's very important, and I want Black people to even understand. Because I'm doing a research on that. About chairman of the board, sometimes companies that you don't even know, sometimes with people who are managing different boards, so they contribute effectively to a lot of people. But God, your gift limits you, and it gives you direction. Only limitation with what are you supposed to be functioning in. Best would be you're already out there. You inspire people. Abanye bazecele to even adding on your hulumeni etufuna ukusebenza Rowan Williams in developing in the Eastern Cape. So that means his inspiration in Ebola can even save people about my drugs. You get what I'm saying? So he can even uplift families, because if those guys are not involved in drugs now, they're going to make money through sports and they're going to be moving their families forward. So inspirational leadership, impactor, but also it gives limits you. This is what you can do, because this is what you've been gifted to do.
All right. So, what can you say about a leadership call to a dangerous space because of the inspiration people get from you as a leader?
I'm
saying, what can you say to a leadership call from a dangerous space, but people giving you a call because of the inspiration they get from you as a leader?
Rabana, we study leaders. Leadership is a dangerous zone. That is why I said I wanted to be polite at first, understanding the objectives in it. Leadership is very dangerous. You can imagine, Guti, there's a guy who stayed in jail for 27 years. He had a career. He was a lawyer. Yabo. Or Mahatma Gandhi, they died through serving the people. Yabo. So when you get to a leadership attitude, when it catches you, yabona nje mina kuthi angife manje uhulumeni kuthi angimhlafune amazinyo, yabo. And I know I'm putting myself in a dangerous space, but unfortunately I would live as a coward if I don't express myself, because in expressing myself lies the protection of our people. So it's a dangerous zone. I was listening to the other day, Robert Marao. I didn't understand the authority and the leadership capacity that rests within space. Unfortunately, things that I'm mentioning. But after the interview he had, because of the racism that was in the cricket space, the interview, can you imagine an interview after the head coach resigned after in the week, because he couldn't be accountable to say why people are being racist against each other, and not you haven't taken a stand. The man put him on the spot and he failed to answer. Imagine Robert Marawa is not an authority, has no authority over the sport, but because he's a man that has taken the ability to express himself, the love of sport that he has, how people are supposed to be paid in the sports. So he took a stand, and the man decided to leave, and that's what leaders do. It's risky. You have to be hated for being a leader. It doesn't come nice. Yeah. And I've seen people who hate you because you want things change. It's always dangerous being a leader. That's why people fear it.
Yo, I think that's why maybe most people, as you said, there are a lot of people who are leaders, but they fear to like take step into their leadership and must say like basugume and do what they're supposed to do as leaders. Okay, let's see. Yo, I'm guilty of ungazibuki izindaba. Loss of love, muhle to a certain extent. Ngempela, it takes away selfless, kwande selfish. And then there's something eshiwo umpoka mfeka lapha. Hey, madoda sibuka abantu abale eChina uthi individualism has become too fashionable, and it contributes negatively to societal stability. Asisathinteki noma kunesimo esibuhlungu kamakhelwane. Yo, bafethu, we should try ngawo wonke amandla ethu ukuthi siyigweme into ekanje, because thina okay nje, our tribe sikhule sazi ukuthi umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. So I don't think ukuthi we should depart from that teaching. Iyona nto esimele sibambe njalo layo until we go to egodini, ukuthi kumele wazi ukuthi umuntu ngabantu. Even if you're a leader, you know ukuthi you were born a leader, but you will never lead enye into. You lead people, so you will always be a person through other people. Yes, sir.
Mr. Neu, there was a teaching that we also worked on, the origins of law, how law comes about, establishing a nation from scratch. Whereas the way that we don't in the issue in Daba. Have you ever heard Uguti Mhlampe, there was a judge that was killed and the society stood as forces? They say there shall be no judge that is killed. Judge Hlophe is being removed from power, and that man stood for justice. That man stood for black people. What are we saying? What are we saying? And if that man is removed from there, what are the criminals going to do? How corrupt will the justice system become? We're not living in the realities of our own realities. Somehow we've been hypnotized to go out of our own realities. Ama hashtags to snag isn't they useless. We all about jokes all the way, all the way.
Yo, that's iyathinta kakhulu ke le, because that's what's happened also to Chief Justice Mogoeng. The guy has to leave the position or the seat because of corruption. The guy is a Christian, so ngenxa ye-corruption eyayenzeka ku-ANC ukuthi kunama cases ekumele akhokhele wona ukuze it's either a disappear or whatever it is, corruption abenza ANC. So the guy couldn't stand for that because the guy was a Christian, and then he rather said, you know what, I'll just leave this seat because this is not my seat. I will never allow people ukuthi bangikhokhele ukuze kunyamalela ama cases or what not. What is happening here lapha kwa-ANC. So we really need to rise up, bafethu, especially in youth. We really need to rise up, especially youth, bafethu. Ekholwayo, we need to rise up, bafethu, because these seats are waiting for us, because we are going to be true leaders. We are going to be leaders that are going to be true to the world. Yes, my good,
we have a serious problem, and that is why I ended up establishing Human Kings, because the church is not ready, Baba. They are not ready, really not ready. We have some churches that are seriously now. We can have them on record about being a politician is a dirty game. Umzalwane should be not there, Baba. And you can see the damage that they bring. A religion has a serious problem. We didn't even go there. Uguti, iBhayibheli has been misused kakhulu, and even in Shabazal bethu at church. It's like you are destroying the church in their terms. You are fighting with the church. And our leaders, they don't care. They just want to have ifundile bedle imali bafe. That's what they want to do. Live a comfortable life. You can't have freedom for free. You can't. You cannot lead like nicely. We have to fight in order to achieve the state. We have people that are very much capable. Bafuna ukushumayela, bafuna uba ama-spring mandach, ama-preaching machines. How do you preach to a person that has a right yokudayisa umzimba? Because they don't understand. I was teaching law. They say, no, we people of grace. Grace on what? You don't even understand the Bible. You can't run a nation through grace. You must have laws to govern a nation. And people do not know that. But TV. That's what we do. Buga TV, buga ma movie, buga lama teaching zambalo eBhayibheli. We're born by grace. Don't understand when it comes to dealing with reality. Grace is a different concept. Law is supposed to be there in a country. You cannot have a law. You can have a country without law. You cannot have a family without laws. You cannot have a church without laws. It's a governing principle. You must have laws to run an organization. People, and if you speak about that in church, because now, man, people, it's like we are making the environment very tense. We don't need preachers. There's a lot of preachers making a noise out there.
They're
making a serious no. For example, if I'm a service provider, what would your preaching do to me? Because lapho kudingeka citizenry right. Ukuthi we say no. We say no to prostitution. We as a nation in a democracy. What people don't understand democracy. You have to give a match of my elections. Ade kubanjwe people that cannot even make ends meet. Banjiswa lapha batransportwa ngemali yethu le la. Batransportwa bayiswa lapha kuthiwa bayokwenza ama decision. How can you ask a person ongazi lutho to make a decision, an national decision? Yona nto eyiwelwayo okhethweni lapho kuyovota abantu abangazi ukuthi bafunani.
Yo, no, my brother, it's cuts see against us. But really and truly, we had a very chill time and a nice time of grabbing and learning about leadership, the origins and the purpose of leadership. I believe to anyone or everyone who have came across this life and stayed and watched with us, I believe you are a leader, because it's only a leader, it calls a leader to watch or to learn about leadership. So that is my belief. I'm not saying it stands, but I believe it calls a leader to watch or any session that is of leadership or to learn of leadership, because you can only become a great leader if you are a follower. Once you stop following, then you can never be a leader. So bafethu, siyabonga kakhulu to everyone watching. Please do share the live if you haven't shared the live. My brother, before we close, mhlambe khona okunye obusafisa mhlambe ungavala ngakho kulo 30 seconds osele.
To you, sir, Mr. Neu, people that have been viewing, siyabonga kakhulu. I believe that we're a very unique generation. We have our own platforms that we can really utilize to make an impact. Some of us can even go internationally. We're ready, man. Like people, like I was listening to the presentation, but these are top dogs, undiscovered. These people are dangerous. We just need platforms. And what I can say lastly, let us not really use church, because church has a different agenda. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's an institution that shouldn't be changed too much because they're afraid of losing control. But let's create more platforms like this to tackle these issues, and then we go out there. We are leaders. There's no doubt about that. Thank you very much.
My brother, thank you very much. Keep on doing the great work you are doing. Keep on impacting kakhulukazi lapha leadership. This is a generation where the true leaders are going to be raised, because I always believe there are two types of leaders in this world. We have a powerful leader and we have a true leaders. And what we are praying and what we are equipping the most is to raise true leaders. Maybe some other time we will discuss and go deep into explanations and definitions or meanings of these two types of leaders, a true leader and a powerful leader. So bafethu, please do share the live. If you haven't shared the live, sibonga kakhulu to everyone who viewed. Wabanathi, asihlanganeni futhi next week Sunday. Revelation Time Show. It's where we preach and teach the word of God. It's all about Jesus Christ and Him alone. And we say to more leaders, to more people who are going to discover ourselves, because true leaders are those who create more leaders and make other people to discover themselves. Thank you very much, Bafethu, from your boy, Brother Neu. It's a Revelation Time Show. It's a Christian show. Danko kaningi. Ayibonane next week. I'm sending